proposal that achieves that.
He says the president's position is firm.
He has made clear he will not sign an extension of the Bush-era tax cuts for the top 2% because it's bad economic policy.
And if an agreement is not reached in 5 weeks, there will be across-the-board tax increases and federal spending cuts will take effect. UN Ambassador Susan Rice is meeting privately today with some top GOP senators, as Vic Ratner reports.
Sitting down for private talks here at the Capitol with some of her harshest Republican critics. UN Ambassador Susan Rice. And among those she set to meet, Republican Senator John McCain, who was so angry with her handling of the attack on the Benghazi consulate that he threatened to block her nomination if she were named Secretary of State. Aides say Rice's visits may signal that the president is ready to put up a fight to get Ambassador Rice confirmed by the Senate as the next Secretary of State once Hillary Clinton steps down.
And the GOP senators have been critical of Rice for appearing on TV talk shows shortly after the attack on the U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi, Libya, and saying that the preliminary information suggested the assault was a result of protests over an anti-Muslim film rather than a premeditated attack. When she is time, 4:08 men.
Guys, you've heard about Ageless Male, the natural supplement that helps boost testosterone levels within normal, healthy ranges. But now, the best testosterone product is even better. New and improved Ageless Male can help you feel more like you used to in your active life and in your romantic life. Because our upgraded formula has been clinically shown to increase your drive, desire, and performance. That's right, guys. Ageless Male has been clinically shown to boost performance. Cancel your plans this weekend. You're staying in. If you're ready to recapture the drive from your youth, now is the time to try Ageless Male because it's available risk-free. But you must call now. Just call 1-800-249-1889. Be the guy you used to be. Just call 1-800-249-1889. 1-800-249-1889. 1-800-249-1889.
It's time for 4:09. Now your health. Here's 1010 Wins medical reporter, Dr. Brian McDonough.
It is called acute stress disorder. This is a psychiatric diagnosis that we do not talk about much, but it occurs in patients after witnessing, hearing about, or being directly exposed to a traumatic event. These can be acts of violence, motor vehicle accidents, or anything that has a dramatic effect on a person. Patients with acute stress disorder can develop intense fear and helplessness. They can have anxiety, depression, or fear. The leading cause, far and away, is trauma. 25% of robbery victims develop acute stress disorder. The best way to deal with this is to get help. Make sure you get counseling. It's very difficult to get through this alone. For a copy of this or any of our reports, log on to cbsnewyork.com/yourhealth with your health. I'm Dr. Brian McDonough on 1010 Wins.
And you can hear your health every weekday at the same time on 1010 Wins. When she is time for 10 traffic and accurate within a minute on 1010 Wins.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. A NataBlock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. NataBlock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, a NataBlock is now available to try for free. That's right, call 800-648-5148 now and get out of pain absolutely free. A NataBlock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-648-5148 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-648-5148 for details. Call today, 800-648-5148. That's 800-648-5148. Again, 800-648-5148.
Time for traffic and transit on the ones. Here's Bill Gagan.
Also working on that crash with Williamsburg Bridge, and this report is being sponsored by Cars.com. The Brooklyn-bound inner roadway of the Williamsburg Bridge is closed down because of this collision, and still some work to be Queens-bound with Frogs Neck Bridge. The inbound George Washington Bridge, watch on the jam cam. Pretty quiet upstairs and down. The outbound side looks pretty good too, but the inbound lower level is still easy pass only and safe for your approach with the Palisades Interstate Parkway. Can't use the North Tube with the Lincoln Tunnel, and the outbound Holland Tunnel has repairs. Lexington Avenue is shut down with the construction between 72nd Street and 61st. Alternate side in effect today. New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring tickets and passes. Cars.com is confident that the East Coast will bounce back better than before the storm to all the customers and employees that have been affected. They're there when you need them. Cars.com, confidence comes steady. I'll get the next report at 4:21 on 1010 Wins.
And now the official 1010 Wins AccuWeather the 4-day forecast, sponsored by RapidCashForGold.com. And here once again is AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore with a live report.
And Paul, expecting a mess here a little bit later this morning in through the day with this storm that will have components of rain and snow in it. Rain and snow mix overspreading the area later this morning. Again, areas north and west of the city will most likely see a slushy accumulation of 1 to 3 inches. And most of that may come later on this afternoon, this evening. We'll have to be looking at this whole storm all the way through the day into this evening. Again, in and around the city itself, maybe just a slushy coating to an inch in some spots. But again, just a messiness associated with the storm. Temperatures tonight will drop down the low 30s, so some slick spots later tonight. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, brisk and chilly, up to 42, low 40s, sunshine Thursday, mid-40s Friday with clouds and sun. Right now, cloudy, 42 in Midtown, relative humidity of 41%, calm winds, and we're seeing temperatures drop into the 30s once the precipitation starts later today. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Wind choose time 4:13. Big day shopping online yesterday.
'Tis the season for shopping, and on this Cyber Monday, Irene was long ago a convert. You don't have
have to worry about going to the register and stuff. It comes to your house, so that's excellent.
Yet many still come to the stores. Julie admits she's here checking prices before heading home to check out the deal.
Yeah, we check off, we compare, but generally just trying to get it over with.
Ruben agrees, saying comparing is the way to find the real bargains.
Definitely. You gotta save the penny that you can.
Ruben also admits he still likes to see it, hold it, before he buys it. Al Jones, 1010 wins at Macy's in Yonkers.
When choose time for 14 sports in a minute on 1010 wins.
A holiday.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Every 3 minutes, another person falls further into credit card debt. Many credit card companies have nearly doubled their minimum monthly payment. People can barely afford to keep up. Here's the great news. With our powerful program, anyone with $2,000 or more in credit card debt can cut their credit card payments up to half and reduce or eliminate interest charges altogether. We are a nationwide nonprofit and have helped over 600,000 people with their credit cards. Get free of credit card debt today. Call 800-493-2975. That's 800-493-2975.
And 4:15 now, time for 1010 Win Sports. Here's Frank Garrity at the Bob's Discount Furniture Sports Desk. Visit mybobs.com.
A new chapter of New York basketball was born Monday night, and there was plenty of excitement in the borough of Brooklyn. Albert on TNT as the Nets count by the Knicks in OT 96-89. Brooke Lopez 22 points and 11 rebounds.
We knew coming in it was going to be there was going to be high energy in the building. You know, people were very excited about this game and they were talking it up. And we just wanted to come out and show people Brooklyn Nets basketball.
16 points and 14 assists for Darren Williams. 4 big three-pointers off the bench for Jerry Stackhouse. He had the go-ahead bucket in the overtime. Carmelo Anthony in the defeat played 50 minutes and had 35 points and 13 rebounds. A career-high 28 from Tyson Chandler. No Jason Kidd for the Knicks. He was sidelined by back spasms. Couple of local college basketball games. Wagner lost to Albany 66-63, and Monmouth defeated Lafayette 65-60. Monday Night Football, the Panthers beat the Eagles on the road 30-22. Cam Newton had a big game. He passed for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. He ran for 52 yards and 2 more scores. Bryce Brown of the Eagles, 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. Philly has now lost 7 in a row. Lions defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh will not be suspended by the league for kicking Texans quarterback Matt Schaub in the groin Thanksgiving Day. Mets come to terms with reliever Tim Burdack on a minor league contract. The Rays have given third baseman Evan Longoria a contract extension that runs through the 2022 season with a club option for an additional year. The deal worth $100 million for the 6 years that were added to his present contract. The NHL and its players union have agreed to meet with a federal Rural Mediator on Wednesday. Sports at 15:45 around the clock. Frank Garrity, 1010 Win Sports.
When it's time for 17.
Years ago, my doctor told me to take a Centrum Silver multivitamin every day. I tell him, sure, can't hurt, right? Then I heard this news about a multivitamin study looking at long-term health benefits for men over 50. And the multivitamin they used for the study, Centrum Silver. Hey, that's what I take. My doctor, he really knows his stuff.
The most recommended, most preferred, most studied. Centrum, always your most complete. A prior formula of Centrum Silver was used in the study.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Anatablock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anatablock is so effective, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anatablock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-651-6059 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Call today, 800-651-6059.
18, New York Republican Congressman Michael Grimm, whose district covers Staten Island and parts of Brooklyn, is being investigated by the House Ethics Committee for possible campaign finance violations. And Grimm, who recently won re-election, is also the subject of a separate Justice Department probe. And Grimm may have violated campaign finance laws by soliciting and accepting prohibited contributions, actions that may have caused false information to be included in campaign finance reports. And one focus of the investigation is whether the congressman improperly sought assistance from a foreign national by soliciting contributions in exchange for offering to use his official position to assist the person in obtaining a green card, according to the committee's statement. Grimm has repeatedly denied any knowledge of any improper donations or any other illegal activity. When News time, 4:19.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop. This week's most popular music, 12 years ago, 2000. Number 3, Three Doors Down, Kryptonite. Number 2, Creed with Arms Wide Open. And the number 1 song this week, 12 years ago in 2000, Destiny's Child, Independent Woman, Part 1.
The people you trust, 1010 wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. 42 degrees, cloudy in New York at 4:20. It's Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Paul Guanzon. Here's what's happening. Some places could get some snow this morning, north and west, not necessarily in the city. Chris Christie says he will run for a second term as governor of New Jersey. A parking lot attendant killed in Lower Manhattan when an SUV fell on him. The body of former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat to be exhumed in Ramallah today to be tested for possible poisoning. AccuWeather forecast, it'll be cloudy, some periods of snow and rain today, high 39.
This is Frank Garrity. The Knicks were beaten in overtime by the Nets. The Panthers top the Eagles on Monday Night Football.
I'm Charlie Turner. On Tuesday, we'll get reports on home prices, durable goods orders, and consumer confidence. Nintendo says its Wii U console sells out in its first week on the market.
Wind shear's time 421. Time for traffic and transit on the ones with Bill Gagan.
Well, still working on that crash with Williamsburg Bridge. It's the Brooklyn-bound inner roadway. It's closed down because of it. And repairs with the Throgs Neck Bridge back towards Queens. Verrazano Bridge, want to be upstairs. That lower level is closed. A lane knocked out. The outbound Holland Tunnel. You have the North Loop closed with the Lincoln Tunnel. And the inbound George Washington Bridge. That lower level is easy pass only. And same for your approach with the Palisades Interstate Parkway. Construction continues in town. You shut down Lexington Avenue, 72nd Street over towards 61st. A lane closed, FDR Drive, if you're heading downtown, South Street over towards the Battery Park Underpass. And still lane closures both ways with the Battery Park Underpass between the FDR Drive and West Side Highway. Work in Queens, LIE eastbound Woodhaven Boulevard into Queens Boulevard. And 2 lanes closed with the BQE westbound Cadman Plaza to Atlantic Avenue. New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring today, alternate side in effect. I'm Bill Gagan. Next report at 4:31 on 1010 Winds.
Wind shear's time 422. Well, we're expecting a wet morning commute with some areas north and west of the city getting some snow. Let's get more details now from AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore in this live report. Dean?
And Paul, we're expecting the onset of the precipitation mid to latter part of the morning rush. So early birds here will be okay, but it will get sloppy here as we go through the day with a mix of rain and snow. Again, just a slushy coating to an inch expected in the areas in and around the city. North and west of 287, that's where we're most likely to see accumulations of 1 to 3 inches, and some of that, the worst of that could be later on this evening once the sun goes back down, as temperatures will stay in the 30s, but it should wrap up. We could see some slick spots later on tonight, especially north and west of the city with some refreeze. We'll keep you up to date here on 1010 Winds. Paul?
Okay, Dean. Meanwhile, also keep it locked here to 1010 Winds for the very latest traffic and transit on the ones. Mayor Bloomberg will be going to Washington on Wednesday to ask for nearly $10 billion in federal aid for New York City to help in the storm recovery. And the mayor estimating the losses from Sandy to be about $19 billion. Statewide, Governor Cuomo estimating the damage to be $42 billion.
The breakdown, $15 billion for New York City, $6 billion Nassau County, $1.7 Suffolk County, then Westchester, Rockland, the other counties, and the utility costs.
And part of it includes money to prepare for the next big storm. And the mayor, meanwhile, ordering landlords to get repairs done now.
It's getting colder, and thousands of New Yorkers are still living without heat, hot water, and electricity in storm-damaged buildings in the hard-hit areas. And Mike Bloomberg is warning landlords they must take action to improve conditions for their tenants, or else the city will force them to make repairs.
The people who live in the city who don't have those services are our neighbors, and we are going to make sure that they are safe and do everything we can to restore those services.
The mayor points out that landlords can sign up with NYC Rapid Repairs to get the job done, and that FEMA will pick up the tab. Stan Brooks, 1010 Winds, City Hall.
New Jersey Governor Christie made it official yesterday, saying he is running for re-election to a second term.
I'm running. I'm in this race. I'm in this race to win, and to win re-election, and to continue to lead the state that I love and that I'm passionate about.
And the governor's popularity has improved over the way he handled the response to Superstorm Sandy. Christie made the announcement in Middletown, where he had gone to thank first responders and volunteers. The gubernatorial election 1 year from now, and Newark's Democratic Mayor Cory Booker may run, and possibly Senator Bob Menendez. Wind shear's time 425. Money Watch in a minute on 1010 Winds.
Are you inhabitants of Earth? You can run, but you cannot. What are you doing?
Watching Netflix on my smartphone, dude.
What?
I can instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as I want.
You don't fear for your life?
Yeah, not really. Our atmosphere is eventually going to kill you anyway.
Nonsense. Our anatomy is...
There you go. Faster than I thought.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
It's time for 26 and now Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Charlie Turner reporting live.
Lehman Brothers bankruptcy estate is selling apartment building owner Archstone Enterprise in a $6.5 billion cash and stock deal. Lehman said yesterday it's selling Archstone to Equity Residential and Avalon Bay Communities. Archstone is Lehman Brothers' single largest asset. Lehman owned about half of Archstone until earlier this year when it bought full ownership for $1.6 billion. Europe stocks are higher following word of a new loan agreement and debt terms for Greece. In London, the FT 100 is up 0.5%. Paris's CAC 40 is up 0.2%. Wall Street stocks ended mixed as investors returned from the holiday weekend. Shares of retailers sold off a bit because even though shoppers love the discounts offered during the holidays, investors worry that they'll impact retail companies' earnings. The Dow Industrials fell 42 points, the S&P 500 dropped almost 3, and the NASDAQ Composite closed 10 points higher. Charlie Turner, 1010 Wins at themarketwatch.com, Wall Street Bureau.
Money Watch at 26 and 56 minutes after every hour on 1010 Wins.
This number could mean... I heard it can make you sick and miserable.
I heard it can make kids so sick they have to go to a hospital.
I heard it could put the health of pregnant women in danger.
If you have something like diabetes or you're an older adult, I heard it can kill.
If you heard that influenza can seriously threaten your health, you heard right. Influenza can strike anyone, and when it does, it makes people sick, putting tens of thousands in the hospital. In New York City, over 1,000 people die from influenza every year. So who needs a flu vaccine? Everyone does, but anyone 50 or older, or children younger than 5, people who have long-term health problems or are pregnant are especially at risk. Vaccination is a safe and simple way to protect yourself and your loved ones. Flu vaccine is easy to find. Ask your doctor, call 311 or visit nyc.gov and search for flu. A message from the New York City Health Department.
42, cloudy in New York.
Attention drivers and owner-operators. How long is the list you're sitting on for your next job? Tired of being yellow? If you have a late-model Lincoln Town Car, come join Allstate Private Car and Limo. If you don't have a car but have a New York taxi and limousine license, Allstate can put you in the driver's seat to rent or buy. With over 26 years in the business, Allstate has a reputation as one of the most prestigious and well-known fleets in the industry. Allstate, a well-managed leader, is servicing the largest Fortune 500 clients, business travel, and corporate accounts in New York. They have the state-of-the-art systems, keeping you busy, and guarantees distribution of work. Go to their Brooklyn office just outside the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel and see for yourself. Call 212-333-3333. That's 212-333-3333. Let Allstate drive your career forward. Just remember the threes. Call 212-333-3333. That's 212-333-3333.
Thank you for the forecast, sponsored by PlazaHyundai.com. Today it'll be cloudy, turning colder, some periods of wet snow and rain. Little or no accumulation expected in the city streets and at the coast. Snow in the western and northern suburbs will result in a slushy accumulation of 1 to 3 inches, primarily north and west of I-287. High of 42 early and then in the 30s after the start of rain and snow. low. Currently it's 42, cloudy in New York, humidity 41%, the wind variable 3 miles an hour. And repeating the current temperatures now, 42 temperature holding steady. And more people get their news from 1010 Winds and from any other radio station in the nation. I'm Paul Guanzon. If you'd like to set your clocks, Winds News Time at the tone, 4:30. Former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat's remains were reburied after being exhumed earlier today as part of a probe into his death. ABC's Linda Alvin is at the foreign desk and explains.
The forensic tests on Yasser Arafat's body may finally lay to rest rumors about how the former Palestinian leader died. Arafat, who died in a French military hospital in Paris 8 years ago, suffered a stroke resulting from a blood disorder, according to medical records. But France began a murder inquiry in August after Swiss experts hired by a documentary crew allegedly found radioactive polonium-210 on his personal effects. Many Palestinians believe Israel poisoned him, something the Israelis deny.
And the tissue samples will be tested in several countries, and their notes will be compared before a conclusion can be made. Wind shear's time, 4:31. Time for traffic and transit on the ones, and here's Bill Gagan.
Well, that accident's still being cleared with Williamsburg Bridge. It's Brooklyn bound. The inner roadway is closed down because of it, and still some work back to Queens with the Throgs Neck Bridge. Not a bad start. George Washington Bridge, if you head downstairs on the inbound side, easy pass only along with your approach with the Palisades Interstate Parkway. You still have the North Tube closed with the Lincoln Tunnel and the Holland Tunnel on the outbound side. The construction continues. Lexington Avenue shut down in town with work 72nd Street over towards 61st, and southbound FDR Drive between South Street and the Battery Park Underpass. You still have that one lane closed. 2 lanes are shut down on the Bronx River Parkway northbound 177th Street right back into Boston Road. The repairs with the LIE eastbound Woodhaven Boulevard into Queens Boulevard. New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring tickets and passes alternate side in effect today. Stuck in traffic? You can tell me about it. Call me at 877-466-1010. I'm Bill Gagan. Next report, 4:41 on 1010 Winds.
And now the official 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Let's check to see if meteorologist Elliot Abrams is standing by. Good morning, Elliot. Okay, apparently he's not quite there yet. AccuWeather forecast, however, sponsored by PlazaHyundai.com. Cloudy and turning colder. Some periods of wet snow and rain. Little or no accumulation expected on city streets and at the coast. Snow in the northern and western suburbs will result in a slushy accumulation of 1 to 3 inches, primarily north and west of I-287. High 42 early, and then in the 30s after the start of rain and snow, and then later tonight snow this evening, and could be slippery conditions, mostly cloudy later on, and a low of 32. And for tomorrow it'll be partly sunny, brisk and chilly, and a high of 42 degrees. Thursday mostly sunny and chilly again, a high of 42. Friday intervals of clouds and sun, a high 44. Currently it's 42, cloudy in New York, humidity 41%, the wind variable 3 miles an hour, and repeating the current temperatures now 42, temperature holding steady in Midtown. Wind shear's time 4:33.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Here's reality, guys. If you're over 30, your testosterone levels may have already begun to decline. It's a medical fact that testosterone levels decrease with age. Here's the good news. Progene, the only all-natural dual-action testosterone supplement, is giving away a free month supply to every guy that calls today at 800-659-8316. Kick your drive back into high gear and be the man you want to be again. Try it for a month for free. There's nothing to lose. Feel younger again and be the man you want to be. Call 800-659-8316 for details. That's 800-659-8316.
Wind shear's time 4:34. 45-year-old parking lot attendant was killed when a SUV fell on him at the underground parking garage in the basement of the Woolworth building on Barclay Street.
He was joking with the deli workers on Broadway as he was getting his breakfast. An hour later, he was dead.
Oh, it's tragic.
Do you know the gentleman?
I just know him from here. I know him every morning when I park here, yeah. Well, I don't know if he's been here for years. I've only been parking in here for like the last few months, so I just know he's a very nice guy.
That's a customer at the Icon Garage on Barclay Street, where the worker was killed when a car rolled off a lift and fell onto him 6 feet below. His family came to the scene and was ushered inside as detectives closed off the garage to investigate. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on Barclay and Church.
Search has been called off in San Francisco for a teenager whose parents died after they plunged into the surf to try to save him. He had gone in to try to save his dog, who went into the big lagoon beach to retrieve a stick, setting off a deadly chain of events. And this is the California State Park Superintendent.
The other two followed to try to rescue the family member that was had been swept away by the surf, which resulted in all three of them being pulled out into the surf and into the ocean.
And it happened on Saturday. They had called off the search for the boy last night. He is presumed drowned. 57-year-old Mary Scott and 54-year-old Gregory Julian both drowned as well. A Florida man who died earlier this year after winning a roach eating contest choked to death, according to an autopsy released Monday. The Broward County Medical Examiner says 32-year-old Edward Archbold of West Palm Beach died as a result of asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents. His airway was obstructed by roach body parts, which caused him not to be able to breathe. Archbold died after downing the bugs as well as worms in the October 6th contest at the Ben Siegel Reptile Store in
continues into the evening hours. Could then be snow, and wet areas could freeze, and the snow could continue to accumulate north and west of 287. But for most of the day, what falls will just call wet streets. Paul?
Okay, Elliot, and again, keep it locked right here to 1010 Wins for the very latest accurate weather forecast, and of course, traffic and transit on the ones. Wednesday time, 4:43. Thieves stole dozens of Christmas trees from the Boy Scouts in Ulster, New York, worth about $3,000. Raymond Braun is the scoutmaster, and he spoke to CBS 2.
We're a small council. We serve Ulster County and Greene County, about 1,600 to 2,000 kids. Got a pretty small budget, and $3,000 is a lot.
And at about 1:30 in the morning on Thanksgiving, an Ulster police officer noticed something was wrong at the Boy Scout tree lot. In all, 60 Christmas trees were missing, and Adams Fair Acre Farms, a large grocery store that also sells Christmas trees, donated 60 of theirs to replace the stolen ones.
I was hurt. I was very hurt about what had happened to them, and I just thought we needed to help.
And they were the trees the Scouts were selling to raise money for their camp. When cheers time, 4:44. Sports in a minute on 1010 Wins. Yeah.
Look, it's Lord Horsey. They say he has instant access to a wealth of entertainment. A most appropriate suitor. He is of Netflix. Lavishes $8 a month on thousands of TV episodes and movies. I heard he watches them over the internet.
Pish posh, it's the 1700s. Internet doesn't exist yet.
Oh, do hush, child.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Now time for 1010 Win Sports, and here's Frank Garrity.
Playoff-like intensity in late November for the Knicks and the Nets, who played for the very first time in Brooklyn in a game which had been postponed by Hurricane Sandy. And the Nets defeated the Knicks in overtime 96-89. 22 for Brook Lopez, 16 each for Darren Williams and Gerald Wallace. And the unsung hero was Jerry Stackhouse. He drilled 4 3-pointers, including one to put the Nets in front in the overtime. And for Avery Johnson, he loved every minute of the experience. experience.
Every time, some sort of Knick contingency started to cheer, our fans got louder. And, this is what we've been dreaming about since I've been here. It's a nice feeling, and I'm glad we rewarded our fans with a victory.
In the loss, Carmelo Anthony had 35.
The atmosphere in there was unbelievable tonight. It was a special place to play. For the most part, a great game. Winning the overtime. I think that's what everybody expected, everybody wanted to see. They got the overtime, and they made some shots, got it going. It seemed like we ran out of gas a little bit.
Tyson Chandler added a career-best 28. Jason Kinney had back spasms. Both teams are 9-4. College basketball, Albany beat Wagner 66-63, and Monmouth topped Lafayette 65-60. Monday Night Football, the Panthers won in Philadelphia 30-22. Cam Newton with 2 touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns. Bryce Brown set a Philly rookie record. He had 178 yards rushing. He scored twice as well. Both teams are now 3-8. From baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays have signed Evan Longoria to a 6-year contract extension worth $100 million. The Mets and lefty relief specialist Tim Burdack agreed to a minor league contract. He spent the last 2 seasons in Flushing. He is coming off a shoulder injury. The NHL and the Players Association have agreed to go to federal mediation in their ongoing labor dispute. The first of those meetings will be on Wednesday. Sports at 15-45 around the clock. Frank Kennedy, 10-10 wins sports.
Windshield time 447.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. A NetaBlock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. NetaBlock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, a NetaBlock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-591-5693 now and get out of pain absolutely free. A NetaBlock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-591-5693 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-591-5693 for details. Call today, 800-591-5693. That's 800-591-5693. Again, 800-591-5693.
42 degrees, cloudy in New York. Winds news time 448. Lottery machines humming overtime for Wednesday's Powerball jackpot, which has grown to $425 million. Susan Bradley with the Sudden Money Institute says most people can't wrap their brains around this kind of cash.
Even if you say, oh, money won't change me, I like my life, it will.
Jack Whitaker won $314 million in a 2002 Powerball drawing. He says his life was consumed with hardship and loss.
It certainly has been a curse to me.
And most people would like to find out for themselves, however.
You're feeling lucky. I mean, what's an extra buck or two? You know what I mean? You can't win if you don't play it.
And we'll have the winning numbers for you Wednesday night right here on 1010 Wins. Wins news time 449. Yesterday, big shopping day online.
It's Cyber Monday, and Ruben is hitting the stores first, checking prices, then heading home to check out the deals.
I haven't had a chance because I was at work, so now I'm going home. I'm going to go online and see what's good online right now.
Heading into the store, Irene Sackey says she's already been online and already done most of her shopping.
Because I normally shop online. It's not because it's Cyber Monday.
And for Danny, going inside is a real hassle.
Because everyone's rude and inconsiderate, and everyone's pushing everyone out of the way to get what they got to get.
And Danny tells me if it weren't for the big discounts, he'd never go inside. Al Jones, 10-10 wins at Macy's in Yonkers.
When choose time 4:50 in a case that could affect the number of harassment claims, the U.S. Supreme Court to rule early next year on what it means to be a workplace supervisor. We have more now from correspondent Vic Radner.
At issue, does a supervisor have to have the power to hire and fire someone? Judges across the country are split. 3 circuit courts say yes, 3 circuit courts say no. That in harassment cases, supervisors can include people who oversee and direct someone's work, but don't necessarily include hiring and firing. The case was brought by a woman who says she was the subject of racial epithets from others while working in the catering department at Ball State University.
And the High Court has also ordered a federal appeals court in Virginia to hear a Christian college's appeal of President Obama's health care overhaul. 42 degrees, cloudy in New York right now, humidity 41%. Winds variable 3 miles an hour, and repeating the current temperature at 42, temperature holding steady in Midtown. Winds News Time 4:51. Time for traffic and transit on the ones. Here's Bill Gagan.
The work continues in town. Lexington Avenue is shut down 72nd Street down towards 61st because of it. And lane knocked out on the FDR Drive heading downtown South Street through the Battery Park underpass. Still lane closures both ways with the Battery Park underpass between the FDR Drive and West Side Highway. Cross Bronx Expressway looks pretty good. In fact, watching with the jam cam, not a bad start at all as you make your way towards the Deegan, and things are pretty quiet over by the Bronx River Parkway. Construction taking out a couple lanes on the BQE westbound Cadman Plaza towards Atlantic Avenue. In Queens, eastbound LIE Woodhaven Boulevard through Queens Boulevard, you'll see the ongoing construction. Inbound George Washington Bridge, lower level easy pass only. Same for your approach with the Palisades Interstate Parkway. New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring tickets and passes today, alternate side in effect. In a jam, you can call me now, 877-466-1010. I'm Bill Gagan. Next report at 5:01 on 1010 Wins.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Show up 1010 Wins accurate with a 4-day forecast, sponsored by Crescent Electric Supply Company. And here's meteorologist Dean DeVore with a live report.
And Paul, it could be messy a little bit later this morning once this precipitation arrives. Wet snow and some rain, little accumulation expected on city streets and at the coast. Northern and western suburbs later today may accumulate 1 to 3 inches. And again, early high of 42. Temperatures will fall back into the 30s. Most concerned, I think, about the evening where we could see some snow. Get ready for slippery conditions this evening and into the night with some refreeze expected, especially in the suburbs. Low in the city tonight down to 32. 20s in the suburbs. Chilly, some sun, low 40s tomorrow on Thursday. 44 with clouds and sun on Friday. Right now, cloudy and 42 in Midtown. Relative humidity at 41%. Variable winds at 3. And we're seeing temperatures dropping when the precipitation arrives later today. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Winds use time 4:53.
Important medical alert for users of antidepressant prescription drugs. If you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy, including Zoloft, Depakote, Paxil, Prozac, Wellbutrin, Lexapro, Celexa, or Effexor, and have a child born with a birth defect such as cleft lip, cleft palate, club foot, or other heart, lung, and cranial defects, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation and future medical expenses for your child's condition. Call 800-322-7975 now if you or a loved one used certain antidepressant prescription drugs before or during pregnancy and have a child born with a birth defect. Time is limited to file a claim. Act Act now, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-322-7975. That's 800-322-7975. The call and consultation are free. 800-322-7975. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
The future of the...
And 454. Federal government has suspended operations at the nation's largest organic peanut butter processing plant because of a salmonella outbreak. FDA inspectors shut down the Sunland Company's plant in New Mexico after finding salmonella throughout the facility. We have more from ABC's Brandy Hitt.
More than 40 people in 20 states, most of them children, have gotten sick from tainted peanut butter traced to this plant. Sunland sells bulk raw and roasted peanuts and makes peanut butter sold at major retail outlets. Hundreds of peanut products have been recalled since the salmonella outbreak began in September. The FDA warned consumers not to eat any peanut products made by Sunland. All peanut butter products with best if used by dates of March 1st, 2011 or later should be discarded or returned immediately.
And again, 40 people in 20 states have been sickened. U.S. Space Shuttle program on hiatus, but the trips to space certainly aren't. Correspondent John Belmont with more on the latest mission to the final frontier.
NASA and the Russians have decided to send 2 crew members up to the International Space Station for a full year, twice as long as current rotations. They want to study human health risks for planned U.S. missions around the Moon, an asteroid, and ultimately Mars. The American set to blast off in the spring of 2015 is Scott Kelly, twin brother of former astronaut Mark Kelly. He's already spent more than 180 days in space on various shuttle and ISS missions, and it was up there in January of last year when his sister-in-law, former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, was shot in Tucson.
And the Kelly twin brothers are from West Orange, New Jersey, and the mission will be the longest ever space flight by an American. When she's time for 55 Money Watch in a minute on 1010 Wins.
Who's watching your home when you're not there? It could be a burglar. Burglars prefer to break in when they think no one's home, and no one will stop them. Don't be an easy target for intruders. Protect your home with a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Call now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Call right now and you'll also get 6 free sensors. That's 6 points of protection for free. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer at 1-800-317-1569. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. Call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-317-1569. $99 installation charge, 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 per month. Total package includes 6-door window sensors. Labor charges may apply. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now, 1-800-317-1569.
56 now, Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Charlie Turner reporting live.
Greece's creditors have reached an agreement to lend more money to the debt-ridden country. Pending formal approval by Eurozone countries, another $57 billion will be lent to Greece. The deal was reached by Eurozone finance ministers, the European Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. Greece's debt targets were also tweaked, with government debt now targeted to fall to 124% of gross domestic product by the year 2020. News of the latest loan installment for Greece has European stocks higher. In London, the FT 100's up 0.5%. Paris's CAC 40 is up 0.2%. U.S. markets ended mixed, with retailer stocks coming under a bit of pressure. Cyber Monday is expected to wind up the busiest online shopping day in history, but investors worried that heavy discounting will hurt retailers' bottom lines. The Dow fell 42 points, the S&P fell nearly 3, and the NASDAQ Composite closed 10 points higher. Charlie Turner, 1010 Wins at themarketwatch.com, Wall Street Bureau.
Money Watch at 26 and 56 minutes after every hour on 1010 Wins. Geico.
It's every parent's worry. Sick child and you can't reach your doctor. Well, Brooklyn parents can rest easy thanks to the pediatric emergency rooms at the new University Hospital, SUNY, downstate. This is Dr. Michael Lucchese. Our pediatric ERs are for the emergency care of children, corporate, super clean, with very short wait times and outstanding ER doctors. In fact, our doctors teach the doctors who practice in New York. More New York City doctors graduate from SUNY Downstate than any other medical school. ER doctors here are trained in a highly competitive program, specifically in children's emergency care. So when you're worried and up at night, the ER to remember is at University Hospital, SUNY Downstate, Litch, Central Brooklyn, and the Bay Ridge Urgent Care Center, where education and research are put into practice.
For a physician referral, 1-888-270-SUNY, 1-888-270-SUNY.
Problems, call tax attorney David Seelig and Associates, 212-974-3435.
WINS, WINS-HD, WWFS-HD3, New York.
AccuWeather forecast sponsored by PlazaHyundai.com. Cloudy and turning colder today. Some periods of wet snow and rain. Little or no accumulation expected in the city and at the coast. Snow in the northern and western suburbs will result in a slushy accumulation of 1 to 3 inches, primarily north and west of I-287. High today, 42, but then in the 30s once the start of the rain and snow happens, and later tonight the snow will end early in a low 32. Right now it's 41 and cloudy in New York, humidity 48%. The winds are northeast 6 miles an hour. Repeating, the current temperature is 41 going up to 42 in Midtown. And more people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Sharon Barnes Waters is our service aide. Jim Maloney is our editor. May, I'm Paul Guanzon.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 41 degrees at 5 o'clock Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Lee Harris, and here's what's happening. We've got some snow on tap today, not so much in the city, but maybe 3 inches north and west. We'll get the latest from AccuWeather. Mayor Bloomberg puts landlords on notice to get their Sandy damaged buildings back in order. More than 24 Catholic schools at risk of being shut down by the Archdiocese of New York. And another accusation of underage sex against the man who used to be the voice of Elmo. 10 Winds AccuWeather, periods of wet snow and rain today, temperatures falling into the 30s.
Tomorrow today, the Knicks and Nets tied for first place after the Brooklyn bunch wins in overtime. Monday Night Football goes to Carolina, and maybe, just maybe, we've got good news on the hockey horizon.
This is Andrew O'Day. Stocks around the world press higher following a new deal for Greece's massive debt mess. First losses, now legal trouble for Hewlett-Packard.
Wednesday News Time, 5:01. Traffic and transit on the ones now, and Pete Torriello is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Lee. We have alternate side parking in effect today, but of course still suspended in those storm-ravaged sections of Brooklyn and Queens. Our Hudson River crossings are fine from the Tappan Zee Bridge right down the line to the Holland Tunnel. New Jersey Transit says the Gladstone branch is still suspended, but all other branches are running on or close to schedule, and they will be cross-honoring system-wide today because of the expected winter weather. PATH trains are running between Newark and World Trade Center and Journal Square to 33rd. Hoboken service is still suspended, and we do have that taxi out of water taxi, that is, out of Great Kills National Park on Staten Island. It starts at 6 and goes to 9 a.m. It'll take you to Pier 11 and 35th Street, and the fare is $2 each way. I'm Pete Torriello. Next report at 5:11 on New York's traffic station, 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 5:02. It's not winter on the calendar yet, but it's not too early for snow, of course, and we've got some in the forecast today. Let's find out how much and where from 1010 Winds AccuWeather and meteorologist Dean DeVore. Dean.
And good morning, Lee. Tricky storm here. The timing of this is slowed down a little bit, so it looks like the early birds here in the morning rush will be okay. Later on this morning, we'll start to see the precipitation arrive. It could be a mix of rain and wet snow for a time here today. The area is most likely to see an accumulation north and west of the city, especially later on this afternoon into this evening, 1 to 3 inches there, primarily wet roads in and around the city as we go through the day. I'm concerned about tonight, though, slick roads, especially in the outlying areas with some refreeze and some black ice. We'll talk more about that as the morning wears on. Lee?
All right, keep us posted, Dean. And as you mentioned, snow is most likely to the north and to the west. 1010 Winds newsman John Montone to the north this morning in Westchester. John?
Yeah, Lee, as Dean said, so far it's been a no storm, not a flake to be found in Bergen, Rockland, or here in Westchester County. But at the Home Depot in Yonkers, Eli was coming in. You ready with the snow melt and the snow blower?
To be honest with you, you're the first person to tell me that there's going to be snow coming.
No kidding.
Yes, you are.
You hear it right now from 1010 Winds.
So now I'm going to be buying a bag of salt, I guess.
Cushion on that. It was winter. It was wearing shorts. John Montone, 1010 Winds, on the road in Westchester County.
All right, John is to the north. 1010 Winds newsman Glenn Schuck is to the west in New Jersey this morning. Glenn?
10 Route 46 out in Morris County. Still no snow here either, although major preparations were made. Roads already treated everywhere I was going. Heavily treated, actually, especially on Route 287. And you can see the salt trucks with their lights blinking on the side of the road. They are ready to go as the snow begins to fall this morning. Police here in Denville telling me the traffic a little heavier than usual to get going before the snowfall hits. No reports of any schools being closed, although, again, the police told me that if it does get bad this morning or into lunchtime, they may decide to close early some of the schools here, so we'll certainly keep an eye on that as well. But as John reported, really not much activity yet. Certainly preparations done. We should mention that even if just a few inches of snow come down, it'll make one of the snowiest Novembers ever here in New Jersey. And I just think, as you were talking about earlier, we still got a few days to go till we even hit December. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Winds, live on Route 10 in Denville.
All right, you know what to do on a day like today. Keep it locked into 1010 Winds for constantly updated AccuWeather forecasts and traffic and transit on the ones to steer you around the trouble spots. Winds News Time 5:04. Well, Con Ed has restored all the electrical service lost as a result of Sandy. Landlords have not restored all the service to their tenants, and Mayor Bloomberg is putting them on notice.
Our message to the landlords is, if you haven't done so yet, you must act immediately to restore safe and healthy living conditions for your tenants, and that includes providing your tenants with heat, hot water, and electrical service, and correcting all other health and safety problems that the hurricane caused in your buildings.
And in New Jersey, officials in charge of the towns hit hardest by Sandy were in Trenton yesterday, explaining that they are going to need a lot of help.
With 30% of the town damaged or destroyed, Toms River Business Administrator Paul Shives says it could take 3 to 5 years for especially those beach communities to fully recover.
We're going to need some help bridging this gap financially.
Bricktown estimates the cost at $50 million. Property values and revenues will drop. So mayors asked the Senate panel for tax breaks or direct funds to offset the costs. In Belmar, Mayor Matt Doherty says,
our engineers have already designed a new and improved boardwalk that would have withstood Sandy, and along with a seawall that would have mitigated the significant flooding that occurred.
To be built and open by Memorial Day. Steve Sandberg, 1010 Winds in Toms River.
41 degrees, cloudy skies in New York. Humidity at 48%. The winds northeast at 6. It's 41. We're going up to 42 in Midtown, and then the temperatures are going to drop back into the 30s when it starts raining and snowing. Winds News Time 5:06. The Archdiocese of New York has been reviewing its schools, and it has concluded that it can't keep running all of them.
26 Catholic schools in the Archdiocese of New York are at risk of shutting down in June. Spokesman Joe Zwilling says committees of clergy and lay people looked at a number of factors, including enrollment and population trends. He says the process is necessary so the diocese can stay financially healthy.
We need to do this in order to make sure that Catholic education continues in the Archdiocese of New York.
Because of the effects of Superstorm Sandy on Staten Island, no recommendations have been made yet on which schools there might have to close. A final decision on all the schools to hit the chopping block will be made in early 2013. Carol Dioria, 1010 Wins News.
And we have a list of the targeted schools at 1010wins.com. 24 more New York City public high schools have been targeted for possible closing or massive overhaul due to bad report cards. Among those schools, the last two big high schools in the Bronx, DeWitt Clinton and Herbert Lehman. And we have a complete school report card and progress report at 1010wins.com. Wins News Time 5:07. Another accusation against Kevin Clash, formerly the voice of Elmo, and this makes 3 times in 2 weeks. He's been accused of having underage sex. This time it's a lawsuit from a now 29-year-old man who claims he had relations with Clash when he was 16 back in 2000 and that he hooked up with Clash through a gay chat line. The spokeswoman for Clash says her client believes the lawsuit has no merit. Wednesday News Time 5:08. UN Ambassador Susan Rice, possible nominee for Secretary of State's trying to gather up support in the Senate, where some Republican members have their doubts about her, as correspondent Vic Ratner reports.
Sitting down for private talks here at the Capitol with some of her harshest Republican critics. And among those she's set to meet, Republican Senator John McCain, who was so angry with her handling of the attack on the Benghazi consulate that he threatened to block her nomination if she were named Secretary of State. Aides say Rice's visits may signal that the president is ready to put up a fight to get Ambassador Rice confirmed by the Senate as the next Secretary of State once Hillary Clinton steps down.
Also said to be in the running, Senator and former presidential candidate John Kerry. It's 41 degrees, cloudy skies. We're going up to 42 and then falling back into the 30s later today. Now this message, AllStateLimo.com, New York's best car service. Fast and reliable. 212-333-3333. Wins News Time, 5:09.
What do you got for me, Doc?
The victim is male, mid-30s, cause of death, sudden shock.
Yeah, well, he was last seen browsing thousands of TV episodes and movies online with Netflix.
Explains the traces of disbelief in the brain, but this astonishment residue...
He was watching them all instantly.
Instantly? That's incredible.
Doctor? Doctor!
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Local's Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Local's Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Local's Fan Shop.
Hey parents, if your child's birthday is right around the corner, then listen up. BirthdayExpress.com has you covered with everything you need to make the next birthday the best one ever. From favors and treats to balloons, games, and decorations. Even better, go to BirthdayExpress.com today. Use promo code GO and get 20% off everything. Birthday Express also has an enormous selection of themes, including brands like Angry Birds, The Avengers, and Dr. Seuss. Just go to BirthdayExpress.com today and use code GO for 20% off. That's BirthdayExpress.com. Promo code GO.
Spot Dash, the new free adventure game from CBS Local. Download the app by calling ** Spot Dash. That's ** 7768-3274 from your mobile phone. Message and data rates apply.
And AccuWeather in 1 minute.
There's a big...
At 5:11. Early Tuesday morning, traffic and transit on the ones, and Pete Torello.
And brought to you by Smart Car. Hudson River crossings are moving well. Tappan Zee Bridge to the Holland Tunnel. Watch for construction work on the Throgs Neck Bridge heading into Queens, blocking the right lane. And also we have report of an accident now up in Westchester County at Hawthorne on the Springbrook Parkway northbound right lane in the area of Bradhurst Avenue. Path trains are running between Newark and World Trade and between Journal Square and 33rd. Also at night 9th and Christopher Streets. And we have still no service for path to and from Long Branch. Alternate side of the street parking regulations are in effect, and at 6 o'clock this morning, the fast ferry will resume operations on Staten Island from Great Kills Park to Pier 11 and 35th Street. The morning hours of operation 6 to 9 a.m. The fare is $2 each way. On Humbug this holiday, now you can lease the gas-sipping Smart for 2 Pure Coupe for just $99 a month with only $9.99 down plus acquisition fee. Give them a shout at 1-800-SMART-USA for terms and restrictions. See if you qualify. Smart, on Scrooge, on Car. I'm Pete Torriello on 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time 5:12. Now the 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast with the live update meteorologist Dean DeVore.
Well, so far we're dry in and around the city. The snow has broken out in parts of the Poconos to our west, and it's going to overspread our area later on this morning into the midday from southwest to northeast. Could be a little rain mixed in at times here through the midday. Again, I think just wet and slushy roads here through the bulk of the day. Maybe a coating to an inch, as much as 1 to 3 inches north and west of the city. And I think things could get a little dicey there, especially for the evening rush. And that could extend into the night where we could see some slick spots as things refreeze. Temperatures in the 30s after the start of the rain and snow today, and then falling back to 32 in the city, 20s in the suburbs tonight. Quiet the rest of the week, some sun, low 40.
Exactly a marquee matchup, but a good game nonetheless. The Carolina Panthers winning in Philly, 30-22. Big night for Cam Newton, 306 yards, 2 TDs passing. He ran for 2 more scores. Eagles lost their 7th in a row despite 178 rushing yards from rookie Bryce Brown. And there could be a little movement along the NHL labor front. The two sides have agreed to meet tomorrow with a federal mediator. The North Face Thunder Micro Jacket offers comfort from trailhead to summit. Compressible down insulation retains critical warmth, while flash dry panel helps remove sweat and regulate body temperature. Don't let winter keep you off the trail. Visit thenorthface.com and find the North Face store near you. Sports at 15 and 45 around the clock. Mark Renee, 1010 Wins Sports.
Wins News Time 5:17. Tomorrow night's Powerball drawing is worth a record $425 million. And what with the holiday shopping season here, you might be thinking it would be good to have a little extra cash about now. So here's correspondent Sharon Alfonsi with some helpful advice on how to win the lottery. Sharon?
Experts say quick picks and personal numbers have the same chance of winning. 1 in 175 million. The only way to increase your chances of winning is to buy more tickets. But the more everyone buys, the less likely you are to win.
Because a lot of people buy tickets, it actually makes the tickets a bad bet.
So search for lotteries that might have smaller jackpots and also smaller frenzies. And in those lotteries, stay away from common lucky numbers like 3, 7, 11.
Odds of winning Powerball, 1 in 175 million, so any horrible thing you can think of happening to you is probably more likely than you winning. Lightning strike, for example, only 1 in 5,000, but the odds are also good that somebody will win tomorrow night. Cloudy, turning colder, periods of wet snow and rain, little or no accumulation expected on city streets and at the coast, but in the northern and western suburbs, look for a slushy accumulation, 1 to 3 inches, mostly north and west of I-287. 41 degrees now, cloudy skies, humidity at 48%, the winds are northeast at 6, 41, we're going up to 42, and then back down into the 30s. Winds News Time, 5:19.
I heard it can make you sick and miserable.
I heard it can make kids so sick they have to go to a hospital.
I heard it could put the health of pregnant women in danger.
If you have something like diabetes or you're an older adult, I heard it can kill.
If you heard that influenza can seriously threaten your health, you heard right. Influenza can strike anyone, and when it does, it makes people sick, putting tens of thousands in the hospital. In New York City, over 1,000 people die from influenza every year. So who needs a flu vaccine? Everyone does, but anyone 50 or older, or children younger than 5. People who have long-term health problems or are pregnant are especially at risk. Vaccination is a safe and simple way to protect yourself and your loved ones. Flu vaccine is easy to find. Ask your doctor, call 311 or visit nyc.gov and search for flu. A message from the New York City Health Department.
It's around the clock on New York's weather station. 1010 wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 41 degrees at 5:20, Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Lee Harris, and here's what's happening. Very messy AccuWeather forecast today with rain and wet snow, maybe up to 3 inches north and west. We'll get a live update from AccuWeather. With his approval numbers soaring, Chris Christie says he will run for a second term. Cyber Monday may not have been the most productive day at work, but it looks like it was a record breaker in terms of sales. And in Ulster County, cops are hunting for the Grinchy thief who stole a bunch of Christmas trees out of a lot run by the Boy Scouts. Then to one's AccuWeather, periods of wet snow and rain today, temperatures falling into the 30s.
This is Mark today. The Knicks lose in overtime to the Nets. Carolina beats Philly as the NFL closes out Week 12. And we've got the latest from the NHL labor front. This is Mark today. The Knicks and Nets tied for first place after...
This is Andrew O'Day. Stocks around the world pressed higher following a new deal for Greece's massive debt mess. First losses, now legal trouble for Hewlett-Packard.
Wednesday's time, 5:21. Traffic and transit on the ones now, sponsored by the Visiting Nurse Service of New York. Here's Pete Torriello.
Lee, AccuWeather tells us that the early birds ought to be okay for the early part of the morning commute. We do have alternate side parking in effect today, except in those storm-ravaged areas of Brooklyn and Queens. And the traffic continues to move well on the Hudson River crossings, and we have no reported problems right now over or under the East River. Path trains are running between Newark and World Trade and between Journal Square and 33rd Street from 5 in the morning till 10 in the evening. Hoboken service is still down. And the New York Water Taxi will resume operations at 6 a.m. from Great Kill, Staten Island to Wall Street in Midtown. They're still working on an accident up in Westchester on the Springbrook Parkway on the northbound side at Bradhurst Avenue. I'm Pete Torriello. Our next report at 5:31 on New York's traffic station 1010 wins.
You go to B&H for their service. No, you go to B&H for their selection. Service. Selection.
Gentlemen, there's no need to argue. It's true that B&H gives great service to all their customers.
Service.
It's also true that B&H carries the best selection of cameras, camcorders, lenses, and lighting equipment anywhere.
See? Selection.
B&H is New York's ultimate camera store. At B&H, you'll find the latest pro audio and pro video equipment, not to mention the most knowledgeable and helpful sales staff in New York.
Service. Selection.
Excuse me, but did you forget about the terrific low prices at B&H?
Oh, great. Another opinion.
That's B&H, where you'll also find computers and iPads and home entertainment equipment, including projectors and iPods, located at 34th Street and 9th Avenue, and online at bnh.com. Open every day except Friday afternoon and Saturday. Free parking available.
For service. For selection.
And especially for their low prices.
You go to B&H.
Time 5:22. The weather today, in summary, not so good. To what degree, of course, depends on where you are. So let's find out what we're in for. From 1010 Wins AccuWeather and meteorologist Dean DeVore. Dean.
Well, you're right. Location is everything in this situation, and timing too. And as Pete said, it looks like we've caught a little break here this morning. The area of low pressure is still over western North Carolina, heading towards the coast here, and it's delayed the start of the precipitation. So that does bode well for the early part of the morning rush. Do expect some snow and maybe mixed with some rain arriving here a little bit later this morning, continuing through the midday. I think in and around the city, it's just a mess with maybe a slushy coating to an inch. North and west of the city, I'm concerned about in terms of precipitation accumulating 1 to 3 inches, with especially concern for later this afternoon, this evening, where that snow could be heavy before ending. And then elsewhere tonight, slick spots with temperatures falling below freezing outside the city could cause some problems too. Lee?
All right, Dean, keep us posted. Some people are taking this as their cue to lay in those winter supplies, as we hear from 1010 Wins newsman John Montone. He is live in Westchester this morning. John?
Yeah, Lee, not even a rogue flake so far in my travels through Bergen, Rockland, and now Westchester County. But as soon as AccuWeather mentioned the possibility of some snow, Charles got himself to the Home Depot in Yonkers to buy a snow blower.
If you're clearing a large area, you have to look at the size buckets. The larger the bucket is, the more snow you're able to
So size matters.
Yeah, size does matter. It does matter a lot.
Now, we are talking about snow blowers, of course, and a sales associate at the Home Depot tells me the ice melt is moving too. John Montone, 1010 Wins, live on the road in Westchester.
As Dean mentioned, most of the snow is going to be falling north and west of 287. That's where we find 1010 Wins newsman Glenn Schuck this morning. He is live in Morris County. Glenn?
Yeah, Lee, out here on Route 10, as you mentioned, certainly west of 287. I came out on 287 initially, and there are certainly a lot of preparations already done. They were salting and sanding overnight, just as that preparatory level of that. And you can see salt trucks all over the sides of the roads. I saw at least 7 or 8 of them standing up, ready to go. And as I go out further west here in Morris County on Route 10, you can see some flurries starting to come down. So again, this is where they certainly could get the worst of it, as though we've been talking about maybe for the morning commute we could dodge a bullet here, get the kids into school, and then get them home safely this afternoon. And that is certainly the concern. A possibility that the schools out here, Morris, Sussex County, could close early if this does get intense by around lunchtime. But again, they'll make that call a little bit later. So again, Route 287, Route 10, Route 46 here as you head further west. Again, you see more and more preparations for several inches of snow. And if we just get a couple of inches, really, it's going to be one of the snowiest Novembers ever, thanks in part to that nor'easter we had a few weeks ago. But again, winter has certainly arrived early here in western New Jersey. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, live on Route 10 in Morris County.
All right, your best bet today. Keep it locked into 1010 Wins for constantly updated AccuWeather forecasts and traffic and transit on the ones. In case you were wondering whether Chris Christie is planning to run for another term as governor of New Jersey, we'll let the man himself address that question.
I'm running. I'm in this race. I'm in this race to win, and to win re-election and to continue to lead the state that I love and that I'm passionate about.
The new Rutgers-Eagleton poll out today has Christie with the support of 6 in 10 New Jersey residents, and in a matchup against Newark Mayor Cory Booker, Booker would lose 53-34, 13% choosing neither. Wins News Time, 5:26. Now Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's Andrew O'Day reporting live.
As if Hewlett-Packard is not having enough trouble already, an investor has now sued the company, claiming it was hiding massive accounting irregularities at Autonomy. That was the British software maker HP acquired for $11 billion last year. Those accounting irregularities led to a write-down of more than $8 billion. HP made that public last week. And when the company revealed it, its stock tumbled, as you might expect, and also as it has several times over the past year. Although this is the first lawsuit against HP, reports say it will be far from the last. Year to date, Hewlett-Packard stock has lost more than half its value. Stock markets in Asia mostly moved higher today, and markets in Europe are higher across the continent. This following word, a deal has been struck. The next batch of funding for Greece in prolonged efforts to keep the nation's debt-saddled economy afloat. The arrangement includes Greece keeping its debt to only 125% of its total GDP. Not exactly sharing in the global stock momentum right now are U.S. stock futures. Following yesterday's mixed trading session, we have mixed stock futures. Right now, S&P futures losing a point, NASDAQ futures gaining 4, Dow futures right now down 5. From the MarketWatch.com newsroom, I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins.
Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. Wins News Time, 5:27.
Ernie, I know you're our worst player, but I want you to win this thing.
How, Coach? I've been riding the bench watching Netflix on my tablet all season.
By running the play that would never work if this were a real game.
Sorry, all I know is that Netflix lets me instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as I want.
Listen, son, when you get the ball, just chuck it. It'll go in.
Instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
During these tough economic times, there is one thing you can count on: your education. Higher education will give you the chance at finding a better job and improve the quality of your life. Further your education and advance your career today. If you're looking to go back to school in the next 3 months and already have your high school diploma, start your search with the National Education Online Center. You'll get free expert advice, school information, and a free financial aid guide. NEOC will help you get matched to your right school today. Call 877-516-0727.
Are you or is someone you know an unemployed veteran? The Veterans Retraining Assistance Program, VRAP, may provide eligible unemployed veterans ages 35 to 60 with training or education assistance. Apply online today at benefits.va.gov/VOW.
Had a pretty good Cyber Monday. Details on that coming up. Wins News Time 5:29. You don't need to avoid the Sandy scams. Get an independent mold test from rtkenvironmental.com. Cloudy, turning colder, periods of wet rain and snow today. Little or no accumulation on city streets and at the coast, but maybe 1 to 3 inches north and west of I-287. 41 degrees now, cloudy skies, humidity at 48%, the winds are northeast at 6. I'm Lee Harris. Wins News Time at the Tone, 5:30.
Good morning. I'm Kathleen Marple. None of us did any online shopping at work yesterday, of course, but somebody sure did. This year's Cyber Monday expected to be the biggest online shopping day of the year. Correspondent Neil Karlinski reports a lot of folks did do it on the clock.
Across the country, from so-called couch commerce at home to the cubicle at work, Americans were buying at a record pace and having every bit of their online behavior tracked. We know that at least half of Cyber Monday purchases were made from a work computer, mainly between noon and 2 p.m. Browsing reaches a peak in the evening. We know that the most purchased items are consumer electronics, including phones and tablets, followed by clothing like jeans and sweaters.
Research firm ComScore estimates people spent $1.5 billion, up 20% from last year. Winds News Time 5:31. Time for traffic and transit on the ones. Here's Pete Torriello.
Good morning, Kathleen. We'll go to Great Kill, Staten Island, where the ferry will resume operations this morning at 6:30. And again, they will have service to take you to Pier 11 and to East 35th Street. Now, if you're interested in the timing on this, it's about a 40-minute trip to get you to Pier 11 and 55 minutes to East 35th Street. But again, that starts at 6:30 this morning, runs till 9, and it's $2 each way. Hudson River crossings are looking good here on the 1010 Winds JM cams. We still have some construction work being reported on the Queens-bound leg of the Throgs Neck Bridge. At east side, west side, so far so good. Nassau County looks good coming in on the LIE Northern and Southern Parkways. And to the north in Westchester County, an accident is now cleared on the Springbrook Parkway northbound at Bradhurst Avenue in Hawthorne. We have alternate side of the street parking regulations in effect. And if you see a traffic problem, call it into the 1010 Winds phone force at 877-466-1010. Next report at 541 on 1010 Winds.
Winds News Time 5:32. Now the official 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Elliot Abrams with this live report.
Precipitation is now advancing from eastern Pennsylvania into western New Jersey and will spread across the area during the course of the morning. However, we look at the thermometer, it's 41 degrees now, and so whatever falls has to melt at first. Now, as we go through the day and precipitation comes down a little harder, there could be 1 to 3 inches in areas north and west of 287, but even then, city streets should just be wet. If there is going to be any snow accumulation that would affect the entire area, it would come at the very end of the afternoon or during the evening hours, and it now looks like precipitation could linger into the evening, and if that happens, could get slippery at that point and be very slippery during the period after it gets dark tonight, but not during the day today. Temperatures today above freezing, going down to 32 tonight. Tomorrow partly sunny, high 42. Thursday mostly sunny, high 42. Then Friday partly sunny, high 44. Currently 41. Relative humidity 48%. Wind northeast at 6. Going up to 42 today in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Elliot Abrams on New York's weather station 1010 Winds.
Winds East Time 5:33. The biggest catch one of the Giants made this week wasn't on the field. Story in a minute on 1010 Winds.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Ma. Did you buy that camera you've been talking about?
No, I'll wait for you to visit so you can help me.
Ma, why don't you just go to B&H? Their photo experts can help you better than anyone.
Well, they may be experts, but they're not my son.
But Ma, when it comes to cameras and camcorders, B&H will answer all your questions.
You speak of these experts like you think they're better than you. No one is better than my son.
But Mom...
I'll just have to head on down to B&H and give them a piece of my mind.
And while you're there, you can pick up that camera.
Would it make you happy, dear?
Yes, it would.
Okay, then. I'll let the experts at B&H help me.
Good idea.
Right after I tell them that nobody's better than my son.
Ma!
That's B&H, New York's ultimate camera store, located at 9th Avenue and 34th Street, and online at bnh.com. Open every day except Friday afternoon and Saturday. Free parking available.
You go to B&H.
I'm 5:34. Well, he had a pretty good day on the field, but one of the Giants made his best catch on the way to the tunnel when a fan fell over the railing.
Martellus Bennett says when he caught the fan, he was able to cross an item off his bucket list. He always wanted to be a superhero.
I just did what any superhero would do. Reached out, grabbed them, used my superhuman strength to hold them up.
Bennett is a tight end for the Giants, and his job is to be a good catcher. Still, Bennett said he takes all the help he can get.
Yeah, I did have my Giants uniform on, which is my Superman cape.
With Superman, when I asked him who his favorite superhero was, he told me it was Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Batman.
He has really cool cars.
I wonder if his helmet was on too tight. Carol Diori at 1010 Wins News.
Winds East Town 5:35. The feds have shut down the nation's largest organic peanut butter plant in the wake of that big salmonella scare.
More than 40 people in 20 states, most of them children, have gotten sick from tainted peanut butter traced to this plant. Sunland sells bulk raw and roasted peanuts and makes peanut butter sold at major retail outlets. Hundreds of peanut products have been recalled since the salmonella outbreak began in September. The FDA warned consumers not to eat any peanut products made by Sunland. All peanut butter products with best if used by dates of March 1st, 2011 or later should be discarded or returned immediately.
Correspondent Brandy Hitt. The plant closure is the first under a new law President Obama signed last year, allowing the FDA to shut down facilities that could be producing unsafe food. Winds East Time 5:36.
Getting gifts for the sports fan in your life has never been easier this holiday season thanks to CBS Locals Fan Shop. We've got the jerseys and gear for almost every team in any sport. And if you visit CBS Locals Fan Shop today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. Visit CBSLocalFanShop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more from CBS Locals Fan Shop.
Gift giving can be stressful. Don't let your next special date catch you unprepared. You're just a click away from the perfect gift at RedEnvelope.com. RedEnvelope.com has always been the place online to find extraordinary one-of-a-kind gifts. But now it's even better with hundreds of amazing gifts. Fast, easy, and perfect. What more could you ask for? How about 20% off everything, plus our signature red gift box free? Okay, done. Just go to RedEnvelope.com and enter promotion code FAST at checkout. Hurry, this deal won't last forever. So go to RedEnvelope.com and enter code FAST.
Cloudy in New York, going up to 42 in Midtown. We are going to see some snow coming through today. More on that coming up in just minutes. Winds East Time 5:37. Well, it's not the Grinch who stole the Boy Scouts' Christmas trees, but the people who pitched in afterward who are the big holiday story in Ulster. Started Thanksgiving morning when police noticed that something was wrong at the tree lot. Scout Camp Ranger Paul Vandercrook tells CBS 2 News somebody drove into that camp and took 60 trees.
I arrived at about 2 a.m. and somebody had pulled over the entire front of our stand. It looks like they had hooked a chain to it and just drove in.
Scouts were planning to sell those trees worth about $3,000 to raise money for their camp. By the next morning, people started coming by with donations, and then a competitor down the road, Adams Fairacre Farms, donated 60 of their own trees to replace the stolen ones. Scout Council exec Raymond Brown says,
Unbelievable. I feel like Jimmy Stewart. I feel like, it's a wonderful life.
Complete with Hollywood ending. Winds East Time 5:37. Well, Queens could soon be bending it like Beckham. Major League Soccer Commissioner Don Garber says the league is at the finish line in talks with the city to get a line for a stadium at Flushing Meadows Corona Park and put an expansion team there starting in 2016. That could be the Cosmos, and they have reportedly offered megastar David Beckham a role as player and exec, but there's no confirmation from anybody just yet. Winds East Time 5:38. Now the 1010 Winds Entertainment Report with Fresh 102.7's Kim Burke.
3 ladies and only 1 will be left dancing on Dancing with the Stars tonight. Melissa Rycroft tops the leaderboard as we head into tonight's All-Star finale after wowing the judges last night.
Freestyle jackpot. Amazing!
We'll find out if Melissa, Shawn Johnson, or Kelly Monaco takes home the Mirror Ball trophy tonight. Angus T. Jones is trashing the show that has made him a star. The 19-year-old who plays Jake, the half of 2.5 Men, urged people to stop watching the show, calling it filth.
I'm on 2.5 Men. I don't want to be on it. Please stop watching it. Please stop filling your head with filth.
The 15-minute interview with Forerunner Chronicles details his religious awakening. He makes $350,000 per episode, by the way. Thanksgiving was good for Broadway after Superstorm Sandy crushed the box office. The Great White Way pulled in more than $27 million for the holiday week, with Wicked coming out on top. I'm Fresh 102.7's Kim Burke with your 1010 Wins Entertainment Report.
Wednesdays time 5:39.
Health insurance is on everybody's mind right now. You either don't have it or you have it and you think it's too expensive. And you probably feel like you don't have any options. We can help. We are InSphere Insurance Solutions. We offer health insurance plans from major carriers nationwide and likely have a plan that can save you money. Whether you're self-employed, on a COBRA plan that's about to expire, or you simply don't have health insurance where you work and you need it, InSphere Insurance Solutions can help you. Our agents will help you find coverage you can afford. InSphere Insurance Solutions is an authorized agency in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. Plans may not be available in all states.
800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. 800-713-0182. That's 800-713-0182.
Listeners, the American Red Cross has been helping thousands affected by Hurricane Sandy get back on their feet. Learn more at redcross.org. 1010 Wins and CBS Cares.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 41 degrees at 5:40 on this Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Kathleen Marple, and here's what's happening. Yep, it's gonna snow. Live AccuWeather and 1010 Wins John Montone and Glenn Schuck with the folks getting ready, all coming up. More heads roll at LIPA. Governor Cuomo says Sandy was in some ways worse than Katrina. List is out of city Catholic elementary schools in danger of closing. Drop and give me 20. Push-ups as punishment raise questions in Rhode Island. 1010 Wins AccuWeather forecast. Wet snow and rain today. High 39.
This is Parker. Today, round 1 of the basketball battle of the boroughs goes to Brooklyn. The Nets beat the Knicks in overtime, and the Panthers top the Eagles on Monday Night Football.
This is Andrew O'Day. Fiscal cliff fear prompts companies to send out dividend checks ahead of possible tax changes. Honda looks to become a bigger U.S. exporter.
Wednesdays time 5:41. Time for traffic and transit on the ones. Here's Pete Torriello.
Brought to you by Allstate. We have an accident in Queens. It's on the lower level, LIE westbound at the BQE. Delays go back toward Maurice Avenue. Meanwhile, the Hudson River crossings are looking good here on the 1010 Wins jam cams from the Tappan Zee Bridge to the Holland Tunnel. And we still have construction work blocking the right lane of the Throgs Neck Bridge as you head into Queens. Great Kills Ferry on Staten Island will be up and running from 6:30 to 9 this morning to take you to Pier 11 at East 35th Street. New Jersey Transit is cross-honoring system-wide today in anticipation of the inclement weather. There is still no train service on the Gladstone branch. And PATH, of course, still has no service to and from Hoboken, but they are running between Newark Penn Station and World Trade and between Journal Square and 33rd Street. Alternate side parking is in effect, and the Allstate Good Hands route of the day is the Garden State Parkway, which is in good shape from Union all the way to the New York State Thruway. And having one Allstate agent for all of your insurance saves you time. Plus, they can find you a bunch of discounts. Save time, save money today. Bundle your policies with an Allstate agent. You'll find one at allstate.com. I'm Pete Torriello. You'll find me on 1010 Wins.
Wednesdays time 5:42. So, how big a deal can this be if it doesn't have a name? AccuWeather is calling for some snow to come through today. Some wet snow and rain expected. Little or no accumulation in the city, but could be 1 to 3 inches to the north and west. It is a reminder to get ready for winter. 1010 Wins John Montone is in Westchester. He joins us with this live report.
Yeah, Kathleen, the snow is just a rumor right now, but AccuWeather says it's coming. So I tried to get Ronnie from Pomona a little worked up. So what do you think of this latest blast of winter we're supposed to get?
We'll see. I think it's going to be just rain in the Sunday City, right? Up here, it's going to be a couple inches.
Yeah.
It's common, right?
It's all right?
Yeah.
Can't get you a little excited about this?
No, not at all.
Well, after Sandy, folks don't seem to worry about a few inches of snow. John Montone, 10-10 wins on the road in Westchester.
And let's find out how they're coping with the thought of snow in New Jersey. That's where we find 10-10 wins Glenn Schuck with this live report.
Well, I can confirm it is snowing. Indeed, here in Morris County, it started about 10 minutes ago. I'm Route 10 in the area of Randolph, which, if you're familiar with the area, probably about 15 minutes west of 287. It is snowing here, and definitely in talking to the police out here, they're saying the traffic is heavier than usual for this time of morning. People are trying to get a jump on this, get into the city or wherever they're going onto 287, Route 46, etc. As the snow does start to fall here, it's a pretty light snow, but it's definitely more than flurries. It is coming down. The road's already treated overnight everywhere I've been going this morning. 287, you see salt trucks everywhere in Morris County, Route 10, Route 46. And again, in terms of school or anything out here this morning, certainly doesn't seem to be any problems. If it does get to a point where it does get icy or snowy, they may try to close early, but that remains to be seen in areas like Sussex and Morris County. But again, even with just a couple of inches of snow this morning, we'll have the third or fourth snowiest November ever on record, thanks in part mostly to that nor'easter we had. But again, the snow is coming down here in Morris County, where they expect probably about 3 inches throughout the day today, and they're getting ready to get in early and beat the rush this morning. Glenn Schuck, 10-10 wins, live in the snow here in Randolph and Morris County.
And while we're on the rush, as you've been hearing in traffic and transit, NJ Transit is doing a little storm prep of its own, cross-honoring tickets on buses, trains, and light rail. Trains are still on modified schedules because of Sandy. Of course, keep it locked to 10-10 wins for the latest weather and traffic and transit updates as well throughout the day. Right now, 41 degrees and cloudy in New York, going up to 42 early before the snow comes in. Winds use time 5:45. Now, 10-10 wins sports. Here's Mark Renee at the Plaza Honda Sports Desk.
Well, Kathleen, it wasn't really much of a rivalry when they played for bragging rights across the Hudson River, but now that it's a battle of the boroughs, a whole other story between the Knicks and Nets. Chapter 1 written in Brooklyn last night, and they made up the game postponed by Sandy, with Avery Johnson's Nets winning in overtime, 96-89.
Every time, some sort of Knick contingency started to cheer, our fans got louder. And, this is what we've been dreaming about since I've been here. It's a nice feeling, and I'm glad we rewarded our fans with a victory.
The game featured 14 lead changes and 13 ties. Neither side led by more than 7 points at any stretch. Brooke Lopez leading the Brooklyn bunch with 22 points, 11 rebounds. Darren Williams scored 16 and added 14 assists. Big night for Carmelo Anthony, a game-high 35 in defeat. He played all but 3 minutes. Tyson Chandler with 28 points. Knicks did not have Jason Kidd available. He was out with back spasms. Raymond Felton basically useless filling in for Kidd. Scored just 8 points as he made but 3 of 19 shots.
I was getting to the basket. I just couldn't hit nothing. My floater wasn't going. If I could change it, I would have. But just one of those nights, man. I just got to try to put it behind me. I'm probably just as mad as any fan, any player, anybody you could think about.
Knicks and Nets now tied for their division lead. Both teams 9-4. Light night on the college courts. Wagner fell short at Albany 66-63, while Monmouth beat Lafayette 65-60. Monday Night Football. Carolina Panthers post a 30-22 win in Philly. The Eagles with their 7th consecutive setback. Both teams now 3-8. Cam Newton threw for 306 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He also ran for 2 scores. Eagles got 178 rushing yards and 2 TDs from rookie Bryce Brown. Could be some good news on the hockey
Christopher Damianos has resigned too. This just days after COO Michael Hervey announced he's leaving. LIPA is also running into more trouble with customers who say they've gotten bills that don't account for the days or weeks they were without power. The authority says it's working to soften the blow, but many customers are angry. Here in the city, Mayor Bloomberg says he sent letters to landlords ordering them to restore heat and basic services and use the city's rapid repair program if they haven't yet, saying they have a legal obligation to provide services to their tenants. Governor Cuomo is comparing Sandy to another infamous storm.
When you look at the damage done because of the density of New York, the number of people affected, the number of properties affected was much larger in Hurricane Sandy than in Hurricane Katrina. And that puts this entire conversation, I believe, in focus.
New Jersey leaders got an earful at a hearing on the storm yesterday.
One by one, elected officials in towns battered by Sandy asked state lawmakers for help. They requested tax breaks, money to rebuild, an effort to speed up construction permits. And the mayor of Brick went off on the power company.
We've got to find a better way for JCP&L to deliver electric and to monitor who has it and who has not.
Stephen Acropolis says it got ridiculous.
To get a phone call and say, is the power on in Veterans Elementary School? You know, you're asking us. You're the electric company.
And Toms River's business administrator, Paul Shives, is demanding hearings into the utility's response.
JCP&L, frankly, did not give us accurate information at times that hurt us.
Steve Sandberg, 1010 Wins in Toms River.
Wins East Time 550. Parents and kids at City Catholic schools now know which ones are at risk of closing.
The committee's looked at several factors, including enrollment and population trends, before making their recommendations. They've come up with 26 Catholic schools they think should close in June. They're all located in the Archdiocese of New York, and spokesman Joe Zwilling says the schools will get a chance to speak up.
The schools that have been labeled at risk will now have an opportunity to bring forward other information, to let us know things that they think that the committees may have overlooked in their work.
Because of the impact of Sandy, the Catholic schools on Staten Island are continuing to be assessed, so there are no recommendations yet. Final decision on all the schools is expected early next year. Carol DiOria, 1010 Wins News.
Full list at 1010wins.com. Wins News on 551. Traffic and transit on the ones with Pete Torriello.
We have a noticeable build on the inbound Gowanus traffic in Brooklyn, starting just a hair south of 38th Street, running up the lower BQE into Atlantic Avenue. Also in Queens, we still have an accident on the lower level of the westbound LIE, blocking the ramp to the BQE with delays back to Maurice Avenue. And as you heard a little while ago from our own Glenn Schuck, they're getting some light snow up in North Jersey, so just keep an eye out for construction work, which may still be out there on Route 287 on the southbound side, south of exit 42 in Parsippany, as well as on Route 80 east and westbound between exit 53 in Wayne and exit 67 in Ridgefield Park. In Passaic on Route 19 between Route 46 or at Route 46 up to Broad Street in Clifton, and also in Fairlawn on northbound 208 between Morlot Avenue and High Mountain Road. All of that should be cleared by 6 o'clock this morning. Alternate side of the street parking regulations are in effect today, and New Jersey Transit will be cross-honoring system-wide as they prepare for the oncoming winter weather. And if you see a traffic problem, get on the phone. Tell us about it with the 1010 Wins phone force, always there for you at 877-466-1010. I'm Pete Torriello. Next report at 6:01 on 1010 Wins.
Attention drive. Official 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Gene DeVore with this live report.
Well, as Pete says, that snow that we saw earlier in the Poconos has moved its way into parts of northwest Jersey and eventually will spread across the entire tri-state here as we go through the morning. But again, and around the city itself, I think we've got another good hour or two before things start to deteriorate in terms of the drive for the morning rush. Temperatures today starting off with an early high in the low 40s where they are now, dropping into the 30s. When it's all said and done, I think we'll see maybe a coating to an inch on grassy surfaces and wet roadways in the city through the day. 1 to 3 inches primarily north and west of 287, and that may be the worst of the drive later tonight as you're heading back from the city to those northern and western burbs, with temperatures falling back later tonight. Could see some slick spots outside the city tonight with some refreeze, some black ice issues. Temperatures in the suburbs in the 20s down to 32 in the city. And then tomorrow, brisk and chilly, partly sunny 42 with some sunshine. We're in the low to mid 40s Thursday and Friday. Right now, cloudy 41 in Midtown, relative humidity at 48%. Winds out to the northeast at 6. Again, low 40s early.
early, then temperatures falling into the 30s with the onset of the precipitation. Snow mixing with some rain at times as well today. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Winds east time 554.
It's every parent's worry. Sick child and you can't reach your doctor. Well, Brooklyn parents can rest easy thanks to the pediatric emergency rooms at the new University Hospital, SUNY Downstate. This is Dr. Michael Lucchese. Our pediatric ERs are for the emergency care of children. Separate, super clean, with very short wait times and outstanding ER doctors. In fact, our doctors teach the doctors who practice in New York. More New York City doctors graduate from SUNY Downstate than any other medical school. ER doctors here are trained in a highly competitive program, specifically in children's emergency care. So when you're worried and up at night, the ER to remember is at University Hospital, SUNY Downstate, Litch, Central Brooklyn, and the Bay Ridge Urgent Care Center, where education and research are put into practice.
For a physician referral, 1-888-270-SUNY, 1-888-270-SUNY.
I'm 555. Drop and give me 20. Correspondent Steve Clampion says that's what got cops in trouble.
After a group of teenage boys in North Providence, Rhode Island, damaged some mailboxes, a videotape made by a neighbor showed several town police officers made them get out of a car and do push-ups along the side of the road. The mayor calls the incident nauseating and unacceptable, and while he's leaving it up to the police chief, he thinks the officers should be suspended.
Says the mayor, you can't fix stupid. Winds east time 555. Money Watch in a minute.
'Tis the season for giving, which means you have to find some awesome gifts for the sports fans in your life. With CBS Local's Fan Shop, not only can you find great team gear, but you can also save money. Visit CBSLocalFanshop.com today through the end of the year and enter the promo code HOLIDAY10 to get an additional 10% off. Get tremendous gifts for the sports fan on your shopping list at CBSLocalFanshop.com today and use the promo code HOLIDAY10 to save even more.
Here's reality, guys. If you're over 30, your testosterone levels may have already begun to decline. It's a medical fact that testosterone levels decrease with age. Here's the good news. Progene, the only all-natural dual-action testosterone supplement, is giving away a free month supply to every guy that calls today at 800-659-8316. Kick your drive back into high gear and be the man you want to be again. Try it for a month for free. There's nothing to lose. Feel younger again and be the man you want to be. Call 800-659-8316 for details. That's 800-659-8316.
10 Winds, sponsored by America Runs on Duncan. Here's Andrew O'Day reporting live.
Honda wants to triple its production of cars in the U.S. and export some of those vehicles from here to other countries. That's the plan for now, at least, and it comes as the strong Japanese yen puts production in Japan at a disadvantage. Already, engineering of the next generation Honda Civic is shifting to the U.S., with the next Accord possibly doing the same. Starbucks is learning that what works here does not always work there, in this case, there being China. The company tells the Wall Street Journal that ahead of aggressive expansion plans, Starbucks is changing its Chinese business model, researching more than reflecting local tastes in the menu and ambiance. They will include more Chinese flavor combinations and more expansive places to sit and relax. If your portfolio includes a lot of dividend-paying stocks, you might notice there's suddenly more money coming your way than usual. That's because several companies have moved up their dividend payouts to before the end of this year, ahead of possible fiscal cliff tax changes. They include Walmart, Dillard, Ethan Allen, Las Vegas Sands. Wall Street Journal expects more companies to make the same move soon. Stock futures mixing it up for the moment. S&P futures down a point, NASDAQ futures gaining 2, Dow futures slipping 11, and early electronic trades, oil futures up a dime to almost $88 a barrel. From the MarketWatch.com newsroom, I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Winds.
Money Watch at 26 and 56 minutes past every hour on 1010 Winds. Winds east time 558.
Dashing through the dough in winter money land. All I did was scratch to win $100,000. So now I'll book a cruise and make my spirits lift. I thank my Uncle Salvatore for buying me this gift.
This season, give New Jersey Lottery Holiday Instant Games. Choose from 5 for a chance to win up to $100,000.
Scratch and win instantly. It's not that hard to do. Cause I'm in winter money land and soon you could be too. Yahoo!
Give or play New Jersey Lottery Holiday Instant Games. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
How far would you go to help save someone's life? How about to your garage? If If you have an unneeded vehicle, donate it to the Salvation Army. They'll pick it up for free, and the proceeds from its sale will help someone in the grip of addiction reclaim his life. To donate your vehicle, call 1-800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. You will be doing the most good.
WINS, WINS HD, WWFS HD3, New York.
Wednesday's time 5:59. Checking the official 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast, sponsored by PlazaHyundai.com. Cloudy and colder today, wet snow and rain, little or no accumulation in the city and at the coast. To the north and west, a slushy accumulation of 1 to 3 inches. High 42 early, but in the 30s by the time it all starts. Snow tonight, could be some slippery conditions, mostly cloudy later, low 32. Partly sunny, brisk and chilly tomorrow, 42. Mostly sunny and chilly Thursday, 42. By Friday, clouds and sun with a high of 44. Right now, 41. Cloudy in New York, humidity 48%. The wind's northeast at 6 miles an hour. Repeating the current temperature, 41. We are going up to 42 today in Midtown, and snow and rain will be coming through. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Sharon Barnes-Waters is our service aide. Tom Offer is our writer. Jim Maloney is the editor. And I'm Kathleen Marple.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. It's 42 degrees at 6 o'clock Tuesday, November 27th. I'm Lee Harris, and here's what's happening. A very messy AccuWeather forecast today. Rain and wet snow, maybe up to 3 inches north and west. We'll get a live update from AccuWeather. With his approval numbers soaring, Chris Christie says he will run for a second term. Cyber Monday may not have been the most productive day at work, but looks like it was a record breaker in terms of sales. In Ulster County, cops hunting for a Grinchy thief who stole a bunch of Christmas trees out of a lot run by the Boy Scouts. 1010 Winds AccuWeather. Periods of wet snow and rain today. Temperatures falling back into the 30s.
Tomorrow today, the Knicks and Nets tied for first place after the Brooklyn Bunch wins in overtime. Monday Night Football goes to Carolina, and maybe, just maybe, we've got good news on the hockey horizon.
This is Andrew O'Day. A fresh debt financing deal for Greece pushes global stocks and U.S. stock futures higher. Now Hewlett-Packard is facing lawsuits on top of losses.
Winds News Time 6:01, which is time for traffic and transit on the one, sponsored by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. Here's Pete Torriello.
New Jersey Transit is cross-honoring system-wide today in anticipation of winter weather. We still have no train service on the Gladstone branch. Path trains are running between Penn Station, Newark, and World Trade, and between Journal Square and 33rd. Nothing to or from Hoboken. And in just about 28 minutes, the Staten Island Fast Ferry will resume operations out of Great Kills National Park to take you to Pier 11 and 35th Street, running until 9 this morning with a $2 fare for the one-way trip. On the Long Island Expressway, we're already seeing some heavy traffic westbound from the Van Wyck into Woodhaven Boulevard, but a lower-level accident is now cleared westbound on the BQE ramp. And in Nassau County, traffic building on the LIE going west from Searingtown Road over to New Hyde Park Road, as it is on the South Shore on the Southern Parkway from Grand Avenue into Eagle Avenue. Inbound Lincoln Tunnel, 5 to 10 minutes. Minor delays at the Holland Tunnel, GW and Tappan Zee Bridge. Alternate side parking is in effect today, except in those storm-ravaged areas of Brooklyn and Queens. I'm Pete Torriello on 1010 Winds.
Right now it's
Not winter on the calendar, but it's also not too early for snow. And we've got some in the forecast. Let's find out how much and where from 1010 Winds AccuWeather and meteorologist Dean DeVore. Dean?
Not only in the forecast, but also now starting to fly through the air. That snow streaking eastward here. Teterboro, White Plains, all reporting some light snow here this morning, and that's going to continue to streak eastward into the city and eventually into Long Island. The biggest impacts of the storm will be, I think, in my mind, later on tonight, this evening into tonight, as we see temperatures start out in these low 40s, drop through the 30s, and then hold there. So kind of just a wet, sloppy situation here through the first part of the storm. But then tonight, once the sun goes down, we could see slick spots in the bulk of the accumulation north and west of the city, 1 to 3 inches as the snow winds down there this evening. We'll keep you up to date here on 1010 Winds.
Right, as you said, Dean, the snow is mostly to the north and west, and 1010 Winds newsman John Montone is mostly north, a little west, with a live report from Rockland County this morning. John?
County this morning.
Lee, the rain here in Rockland has just frozen into some very fine flakes. Now, over on the Westchester side of the Tappan Zee, I had stopped at a gas station in Tarrytown where Mike from Irvington pulled up in his 1985 Mercedes. 85, and it still does the job.
I've taken on many road trips upstate New York to visit my son and daughter going to school and
through the snow.
Yeah.
So you've gone through some pretty bad weather with it.
Yes, I have.
You put your trust in it.
Oh, yeah, because I know the guy that works on it, me.
John Montone, 1010 Wins, live on the road in the rain and a little snow in Rockland.
Now, if you're really looking for some snow, you need to go north and west of 287, and that's where we've sent 1010 Wins reporter Glenn Schuck this morning. Anything yet, Glenn?
Oh, yeah, Lee, it's definitely snowing here now out here in Morris County. And you know it's coming, as usually is, from west to east as the cars that are coming on Route 10 here from out along the Pennsylvania border are covered in snow as they head eastward back here into Morris County. And the snow is falling at a pretty good clip right now, not really doing any major issues on the road, but you can definitely tell, according to the police here telling me, that this is a heavier commute earlier than usual for people to get a jump start on it. Very busy here on Route 10 in Randolph, where I am this morning. The salt trucks are out. You can see all the plows. Talking to some guys here saying maybe this is their season because last year they didn't make any money. The year before they made a lot. And they're hoping that this year, again, maybe they'll actually make some money. Probably 3 or 4 inches of snow they're expecting here this morning in Morris and out into Sussex County as well. So the snow is falling, and they expect, as you've been hearing here, for it to intensify throughout the morning here. We'll keep you posted from out here in Morris County. Run Jock, 1010 Wins, live in Randolph.
And you know what to do on a day like today. You keep it locked into 1010 Wins for constantly updated AccuWeather forecasts and traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones to steer you around the trouble spots. And we'll be having some today for sure. Wins News Time, 6:06. In case you were wondering whether Chris Christie is planning to run for another term as governor of New Jersey, the answer is yes. He made the announcement at the Port Monmouth Fire Department yesterday, saying he especially didn't think it would be right to leave now when so many people in New Jersey are still reeling from Sandy.
The person who has helped to lead them through the initial crisis wants to be here to lead them through the rebuilding and restoration of our state, and it would be wrong for me to leave now.
The new Rutgers-Eagleton poll out today has Christie with the support of 6 in 10 New Jersey residents, and in a matchup against Newark Mayor Cory Booker, Booker would lose 53-34, with 13% choosing neither. Wins News Time, 6:06. In Washington, efforts continue to keep the country from doing Thelma and Louise off the fiscal cliff. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says it's really up to the president.
Unless the president leads and Congress acts, a combination of automatic tax hikes and spending cuts will go into effect. It could have a devastating effect on our national defense and on an already painfully slow economy.
The president, through his spokesman, reiterated his pledge not to sign any legislation that doesn't effectively raise taxes on the top 2% of earners. Tax hike opponent Grover Norquist has this reminder for Republicans in Congress who signed his no tax increase pledge and are thinking about violating it now.
When you got married, did your wife understand there was an expiration date on that promise? When you borrowed money to buy your house, did you say, oh, geez, that mortgage, that was 10 years ago. You're still asking me for money? You know, if you make a commitment, you make a commitment.
The president will be meeting with small business owners at the White House today. Wednesday News Time, 6:07. Jill Kelly will soon no longer be an honorary consul of South Korea. The South Korean government is revoking the title on the grounds that Kelly misused it on unspecified personal business dealings. Kelly, as you may recall, is the other woman in the David Petraeus mess, the one who allegedly received threatening emails from Paula Broadwell, biographer and mistress of Petraeus. By the way, the job of honorary consul is to promote South Korea in the U.S. It pays a whopping $2,500 a year. Wednesday News Time, 6:08. 42 degrees. It's cloudy in New York. Humidity at 46%. The winds are northeast at 5. 42. Temperature holding steady this morning in Midtown and will be falling back into the 30s during the afternoon. It's estimated Americans spent $1.5 billion shopping online on Cyber Monday, much of that on company time. And as correspondent Neil Karlinski reports, some of those purchases were researched in the real world.
And in a growing trend, we know that more than ever before, people are doing it on the go from a mobile device, many while walking the aisles inside a store. In fact, an estimated 48 million shoppers now do something called showrooming, checking out a product or price in the real world before buying it online.
It's personalized shopping, and it's really becoming quite sophisticated. And in the sense, it's benefiting the consumer.
And sales were up an overall 20% from last year. Wednesday News Time, 6:09. First the ceasefire, then the talks. Correspondent Carlotta Bradley reports that Israel and Palestinian militants from the Gaza began indirect talks today in Egypt.
The goal is to negotiate new border arrangements. Hamas and the smaller Islamic Jihad movement demand an end to Israeli and Egyptian restrictions on movement in and out of Gaza. Israel wants a halt to arms smuggling into the territory. The talks are being mediated by Egypt and are the first since Cairo brokered a truce that ended more than a week of fighting between Israel and Palestinian militants in Gaza.
Speaking of Israel, in Cairo, protesters and police clashed ahead of a planned massive rally today against President Mohamed Morsi and his push to grab near absolute power. Today's unrest took place near the U.S. Embassy, and while the Muslim Brotherhood has called off any large-scale counter-demonstrations in support of Morsi, the president is refusing to rescind his decree, placing all of his official decisions beyond judicial review. Wins News Time, 6:10, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Last Sunday in Cleveland, a mother called 911 to report her son missing.
How long has it been since you last saw him? 15 minutes ago. I was looking everywhere for him. I can't find him.
But police became suspicious after the mother, Camelia Terry, changed her story.
The statements of Miss Terry became very inconsistent, and we decided that we would further investigate her involvement.
And yesterday, while searching for the boy, officers noticed a garbage truck near his home. They searched and found the body of Emiliano Terry inside multiple bags within that truck. Police have now arrested his mother. Wednesday News Time, 6:11. Time for a check of traffic and transit on the ones, and here's Pete Torriello.
Brought to you by Constant Contact, and we're looking at the Gowanus traffic here, coming up on 38th Street, running up the lower BQE into Atlantic Avenue. It's heavy, but it is steady. Long Island Expressway, the computer model's now telling us that that's starting to get heavy going westbound from 161st out to about 108th Street. Grand Central is fine. Van Wyck Building northbound into Hillside Avenue. Not bad yet, though. And on the Staten Island Expressway, you have a fighting chance if you go now. It's a little heavy between Victory Boulevard and Manor Road eastbound, but this is about as good as you're going to see over the next few hours. Nassau County is quiet coming in on the LIE, Northern and Southern Parkways, and we have delays of 5 minutes or less at the Lincoln Holland Tunnels and the GW Bridge. No reported problems over or under the East River. And the Great Kills Ferry starts running at 6:30 this morning on Staten Island to take you to Wall Street and Midtown. Boats run from 6:30 to 9 a.m. It's $2 for the round, for the single trip each way. New Jersey Transit is cross-honoring system-wide today in anticipation of the bad weather, and Pat still has no service to and from Hoboken. Alternate side parking is in effect. Ever feel like you hit a roadblock marketing your small business? Constant Contact helps you to cross that barrier with easy-to-use tools that grow your business. From email to events, local deals to social media promotions. Learn which product is right for you at ConstantContact.com. I'm Pete Torriello on 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 6:12. Now the 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. It's a messy one, and with the live update, meteorologist Dean DeVore.
Well, snow is streaking across the tri-state here this morning from west to east. Now, a lot of places are still well above freezing. We're still in the low 40s in the city, mid to upper 30s in the immediate suburbs. Areas to the north and west is where temperatures are at or below freezing right now. So those would see the slick spots this morning. I think just kind of slushy, sloppy conditions in and around the city and Long Island for today with a mix of snow and some rain at times. But then tonight, as the colder air comes back in with the sun going down, we're going to see, I think, some problems, especially north and west of the city early in terms of evening rush, where they could see 1 to 3 inches. And then elsewhere, we could see some slick spots develop later tonight in the suburbs with temperatures dropping below freezing there. We should dry out tonight, tomorrow, partly sunny, chilly, low 40s, lower 40s with some sunshine Thursday and Friday. Right now in Midtown, our temperature standing at 42 degrees, relative humidity 46%, northeast wind at 5. Again, temperatures falling once the precipitation arrives and sticking in the 30s the rest of the day. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on New York's weather station 1010 Winds.
Wednesday's time, 6:13. Investigators have been trying to dig up information to confirm rumors that Yasser Arafat was actually murdered by the Israelis, but in order to dig that up, they had to dig him up, which they did today, as correspondent Linda Albin reports.
The forensic test on Yasser Arafat's body may finally lay to rest rumors about how the former Palestinian leader died. Arafat, who died in a French military hospital in Paris 8 years ago, suffered a stroke resulting from a blood disorder, according to medical records. But France began a murder inquiry in August after Swiss experts hired by a documentary crew allegedly found radioactive polonium-210 on his personal effects. Many Palestinians believe Israel poisoned him, something the Israelis deny.
And Arafat's remains have now been reburied. Wednesday news time, 6:14, 1010 Wins Sports in 1 minute, sponsored by Lincoln.
Email marketing works great for small business, and Constant Contact email marketing works best of all. How do we know? Because we have something the other guys don't have. Proof. According to an independent study, small businesses that use Constant Contact get 36% more of their emails opened and 60% more responses. The result? A whopping 29% more revenue. Put Constant Contact email marketing to work for your small business. Go to ConstantContact.com to sign up for a free trial today.
If you have bad credit, you're not alone. Did you know that as much as 79% of all credit reports contain errors and incorrect information? Having great credit is more important than ever. Let nationally recognized credit expert Jason M. Kaplan help. Jason and his team of FICO experts will give you a free consultation and discuss how they can get your credit life back on track. Call 877-731-0082 for your free credit consultation and analysis. There's no upfront fees, and you only pay for results. Call the Credit Pros now at 877-731-0082.
Discount Furniture Sports Desk. Here's Mark Renee.
That'll be the first ever meeting between the Garden Guys and the Brooklyn Bunch last night at Barclays Center. Took overtime to decide round one of the basketball battle of the boroughs.
Game tied at 86. A minute 20 into overtime. Stackhouse for three.
Marv Albert on TNT. Jerry Stackhouse, who wears the number 42, made famous in Brooklyn by Jackie Robinson, putting the Nets in front to stay there. They went on to win 96-89. Brooke Lopez, 22 points, 11 rebounds, while Darren Williams scored 16 and added 14 assists.
It was a lot of fun, man. It's just, you hear the crowd. You know, they were amazing tonight. We just had a lot of energy for this game. You know, we were ready for this game, and we gave the fans a show. That's
Williams, also on TNT. Nets pull into a first-place tie with the Knicks, who got a game-high 35 points from Carmelo Anthony. Tyson Chandler scored 28. Raymond Felton finished with 8 points, shot just 3 of 19 from the field. Jason Kidd couldn't play because of back spasms. And Coach Mike Woodson says the future Hall of Famer was definitely missed.
It's a big part of what we do. He's one of those veteran guys that can settle things down and help run the team when things are not going very smoothly. But you got to give them credit as well. Their defense held tight tonight, and it was a back and forth fight, and they were able to pull it out.
Knicks and the Nets now off until tomorrow. Other games of note: the Thunder made mincemeat out of the Bobcats, 114-69. OKC a 40-point lead at halftime. The Wizards 0-12. Washington lost to San Antonio 118-92. The Hornets stung the Clippers out in L.A. 105-98. NFL wrapped up Week 12 in Philly last night. Eagles lost their 7th straight as they fell to the Carolina Panthers 30-22. Cam Newton, a big night, 306 yards passing, 2 TDs in the air, 2 more on the ground. Philly got 178 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns from rookie Bryce Brown. Hockey fans could have some good news coming. 2 sides in the NHL labor dispute have agreed to meet tomorrow with a federal mediator. Sports at 15 and 45 around the clock. Mark Renee, 1010 wins sports.
Right. Hey, dog, where's your owner? Watching Netflix. Yeah? He can instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as he wants online. Well, I know what you did on my lawn, and it's not funny. It is to kids. Well, what are their parents supposed to laugh at? The sophisticated jokes. You know, like, that dog chasing his tail reminds me of politicians.
Instantly watch as many TV episodes and movies as your family wants on all kinds of devices for only $8 a month with Netflix. Start your free trial today. See terms of use.
6:18, it's too early for Santa Claus, but apparently not too soon for the Grinch. Cops say somebody stole dozens of Christmas trees from a Boy Scout tree lot in Ulster, New York. About 60 trees worth $3,000 were taken. The money from the tree sale was intended to support the Scouts camp. Raymond Brown is Council Scott executive. He talked with CBS 2.
We're a small council. We serve Ulster County and Greene County, about 1,600 to 2,000 kids. Got a pretty small budget, and $3,000 is a lot.
But the worst in some people seems to bring out the best in others. Adams Fair Acre Farms is a large grocery store nearby that also sells Christmas trees, and Jason Becker says he wanted to help out.
I was hurt. I was very hurt about what had happened to him, and I just thought we needed to help.
And Ulster police are investigating the theft. Cloudy, turning colder with periods of wet snow and rain. Little or no accumulation expected on city streets and at the coast, but 1 to 3 inches mostly north and west of I-287. 42 degrees now, cloudy skies in New York, and we'll be falling back into the 30s later. Wednesday News Time, 6:19.
You know how it goes planning family vacations. You pick a weekend months ahead.
We've got good news on the hockey horizon.
This is Andrew O'Day. Stocks around the world press higher following a new deal for Greece's massive debt mess. First losses, now legal trouble for Hewlett-Packard.
Wednesday News Time, 6:21. Traffic and transit on the ones now, sponsored by White Castle. Here's Pete Torriello.
Starting in Queens with the LIE, we're averaging below 30 miles an hour now, Lee, on the westbound side from Utopia Parkway into Queens Boulevard. Better on the Grand Central, but it will be slow in that westbound right lane. From LaGuardia over to the BQE, the Van Wyck is building northbound between Atlantic and Hillside Avenue. So far, so good on the Cross Bronx, the Deegan, and the Bruckner. On the east side, Harlem River Drive is slow. Heading downtown from the 130s to the Triborough across town, the west side looks good. And the New York State Thruway is clear from the Garden State Parkway into the Tappan Zee Bridge. Delays are running 10 minutes each at the city-bound Lincoln Tunnel and the GW Bridge. Minor delays at the Holland Tunnel. And the Brooklyn Bridge is in good shape in both directions as I see it live on the 1010 Winds Jam Cam. In New Jersey, we have a disabled truck on southbound Tunley Avenue at Route 3 in North Bergen. Alternate side parking is in effect today, and New Jersey Transit is cross-ordering system-wide. I'm Pete Torriello on 1010 Winds.
Save money during 6:22. The weather today, in summary, not very good. To what degree it won't be very good depends on where you are. So let's find out what's going on and what we're in for from 1010 Winds AccuWeather and meteorologist Dean DeVore. Dean.
I think the best way to say it is messy here through the day. I'm concerned about later on this evening once the sun goes down into the night. That's where we could see the slickest situations in terms of the storm. Rain and snow mixed with mainly snow north and west of the city. When it's all said and done, areas north and west of 287 would likely see the most accumulation, 1 to 3 inches. And again, I think anywhere outside the city tonight has the potential to get slick with some black ice later on tonight into the early part of tomorrow morning. We'll keep up to date all morning long. Lee?
All right, it's a wintry wake-up call for many. 1010 Winds newsman John Montone is cruising about Rockland County this morning. He has this live report. John?
Ellie, a little snow, a little rain up here, and Andy from Irvington is not impressed. Andy figures the weather has become so strange these days. We may get blizzards in October, followed by a warm winter.
Weather's been changing every single day, and I'm not really afraid about today. Not at all.
Hey, So you think the climate is getting a little weird on us?
It's definitely getting weird on us. I mean, I think we are all aware of that here in New York.
And I can report that I've spotted our first moron of the morning. Just as the rain began to freeze, he stepped on the gas and blew through a red light in West Nyack. John Montone, 1010 Winds, live on the road in Rockland.
Well, as Dean mentioned, most of the snow is going to be falling north and west of 287, and that is where we've dispatched 1010 Winds newsman Glenn Schuck this morning, and he's got some snow out there. Glenn?
Indeed, yes, snow here on Route 10 in Randolph, and John was talking about the moron factor. I just saw the same thing here as someone came flying into a Dunkin' Donuts here, kind of skidded and almost plowed right into the sign in the front of the building here. So got to take it slow. It's not any intense snow right now, but it is slippery and definitely a very busy commuter ready here out in Morris County as cars coming west to east. You see them already covered with snow with the wipers on. A cautious drive this morning. I'll tell you one person or a group of people that are happy this morning. It's snow plows and their drivers. I talked to a guy who invested tens of thousands in new equipment last year, and we ended up having no snow. He said he was out last night doing a snow dance. Very happy to see the snow this morning, and that means dollar signs for him. So again, the snow plow people are happy. Fans of winter are happy. Those who don't like snow certainly not too thrilled when they came out this morning. And again, the snow is falling pretty steadily here out in Morris County now, as they're looking probably 3-4 inches here by the end of the day. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Winds, live in the snow in Route 10 and Randolph.
All right. Good day to keep it locked into 1010 Winds for the latest AccuWeather forecast and also traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones. Winds News Time, 6:25. The Archdiocese of New York has been reviewing its schools and has concluded that it can't keep running all of them.
The 26 Catholic schools at risk of shutting down in June are all in the Archdiocese of New York and located in Manhattan, the Bronx, Westchester, Putnam, Dutchess, Rockland, Ulster, Orange, and Sullivan counties. Diocesan spokesman Joe Swilling said committees of clergy and lay people looked at several factors.
Has enrollment been steadily declining? Is a community that may have been very heavily Catholic 50 years ago now decidedly less Catholic?
The Catholic schools on Staten Island are still being assessed in view of the destruction of Sandy. A final decision on which schools will definitely close throughout the diocese will be made in January. Carol, the 1010 Winds News.
We have a list of the at-risk schools at 1010winds.com. Winds News Time, 6:26. Now, Money Watch on 1010 Winds, sponsored by the Greater New York Toyota dealers. Here's Andrew O'Day reporting live.
Two major acquisitions gone bad. Now the situation for Hewlett-Packard has gone to worse. An investor who owns only 200 shares is suing HP, claiming it was slow to reveal problems with two companies it recently acquired. Electronic data systems for $13 billion 4 years ago, and autonomy for $11 billion last year. HP said in August its first acquisition had not gone as planned, and last week disclosed an $8 billion write-down from its second acquisition. Walmart says it had no idea clothes meant for sale in its stores were still being made at that factory in Bangladesh, where a fire killed more than 100 garment workers. The facility had no safety features such as an emergency exit. Most workers were trapped during the fire says it had severed ties with that factory, but without its knowledge,